Good afternoon. It's 2 o'clock and this is Observer TV News. I'm Cavel Brown.
And I'm Jasmine.
And here are today's top headlines. A military funeral was held today for the Air Force pilot killed in a training exercise in Alberta. Rescuers are still searching for survivors in Indonesia after a 6.5 magnitude earthquake, and Donald Trump has been named Time Magazine's Person of the Year. Now to our top story. There was a record number of collisions in the city last night. A total of 16 people were struck late Tuesday and early this morning due to a period of heavy rain. One man sustained life-threatening injuries. No one was killed. Constable Clint Stibbe says the darkness and rain are contributing factors, but that accidents mostly happen because drivers are too lazy to correct their driving and be extra cautious in the dangerous conditions. The city averages 5.2 collisions every day. Jasmine Hoy joins us now with local crime.
In breaking news, a 21-year-old man is sentenced to life in prison after he was found guilty of second-degree murder in connection with the Danzig Street shooting in 2012. Owusu Forlarunso was 17 at the time of the shooting. He is one of 3 men convicted in connection with the incident that happened in July of 2012. Forlarunso was found guilty on 2 counts of second-degree murder, 1 count of attempted murder, 1 count of aggravated assault, and 1 count of reckless discharge. The gunfire exchange led to the deaths of 23-year-old Joshua Yasay and 14-year-old Cheyenne Charles. 20 others were injured in the shooting. An 18-year-old man is charged after a student was slashed with a machete last week. York Regional Police were called to St. Teresa Lycea Catholic High School just before 3 p.m. on December 2nd. They found a youth suffering from a stab wound. The victim was later taken to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police say the victim and the suspect were involved in a fight when the suspect drew the weapon. He is facing charges of aggravated assault, uttering threats, and carrying a concealed weapon. A toddler has died after swallowing pills belonging to a relative. The incident happened last month in Whitby, Ontario, while the toddler's family were visiting relatives. Police say a 13-month-old boy went into a bedroom and swallowed a single pill he found in the room. The child stopped breathing and died in the hospital 2 days later after the accidental overdose. Police have not released the name of the drug and are warning people to lock up their medications to prevent similar deaths. A male driver is in custody after a single-car collision occurred this morning. It happened just after 3 a.m. in the area of Yonge and Roxborough streets. The driver struck a light pole, and police say he may have been impaired at the time. He was arrested on scene. No injuries were reported. A Durham police officer who moved a kitten from a suspected drug user's home is expected to face a police tribunal today. Constable Beth Richardson was charged with discreditable conduct in May. Police say Richardson was dispatched to a home in Oshawa earlier this year to check on a woman in medical distress. It was said that the kitten looked like it hadn't been fed. Richardson took the kitten home without the permission from the owners. She did not document the incident or notify her superiors. The tribunal hearing will indicate whether Richardson will be demoted or convicted. A 17-year-old boy is dead after a shooting in Ottawa. Police received several 911 calls regarding gunshots in the Hittenburg area around 10 p.m. yesterday. Officers found the victim with gunshot wounds. The boy died in hospital. Investigation is in progress. That's it for crime. Now here's Cavel.
Thanks, Jasmine. In national news, a doctor from Vancouver is being criticized for asking his patients to help fund his retirement. Dr. Myron McDonald, a family doctor, is planning to retire, but says he doesn't make much money. In a letter, McDonald, 74, asked his patients for monthly payments or donations. BC's College of Physicians and Surgeons says McDonald's actions violate medical principles. The college didn't say what disciplinary actions would be taken, but said McDonald will not be allowed to accept any money. And the military is paying respect to an Air Force pilot killed in a training accident. The funeral for Captain Thomas McQueen is being held at the Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum in Mount Hope, Ontario today. McQueen, 29, was killed during a training exercise near the Alberta-Saskatchewan boundary on November 28. He was a member of the 401 Squadron at Four Wing Cold Lake in northeastern Alberta. In international news, the government of Yemen released a statement saying that 60 nationals are feared drowned in the Arabian Sea after a vessel went missing 5 days ago. The vessel disappeared about 40 kilometers from a remote island late last week. 2 people have been rescued and the search is ongoing. Rescuers are still searching through rubble for any survivors after an earthquake hit a region in northern Sumatra, Indonesia this morning. The 6.5 magnitude quake damaged hundreds of homes. Extra medical personnel have been sent to the region after many local hospitals were also damaged in the quake. At least 97 people are said to be dead, with another 273 injured. The Time magazine has named Donald Trump their Person of the Year. Time editor Nancy Gibb said on the Today Show that the choice was, quote, straightforward. The Times cover reads, Donald Trump, President of the Divided States of America. Hillary Clinton was also a finalist. Graziele Solomon joins us now with entertainment.
Hello and welcome to Entertainment News. Amy Schumer calls out critics who are slamming her on her potential role as Barbie in the live-action film based on the doll. Reports last week say that Schumer was in talks for the role. She will play a Barbie kicked out of Barbie Land for not being perfect enough while finding adventure and herself in the real world. The actress and comedian posted a selfie on Instagram Tuesday shutting down those few who are body-shaming her. Schumer says the backlash is making it evident that she is meant for the role. Mila Kunis and husband Ashton Kutcher revealed the name of their second child. Kunis gave birth to a boy, Dimitri Portwood Kutcher, on November 30th. The pair first met while filming That 70s Show and married on July of 2015. Lady Gaga reveals her struggle with PTSD, saying it's one of her deepest secrets. Putting a brave face, Gaga reveals that she suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder, which was brought on from her rape at the age of 19. The 30-year-old singer told the Today Show on Monday. She says she struggles with mental illness every day and takes medication to cope. That's all for Entertainment News. I'm Graziele Solomon. Back to Cavel.
And that's what's making headlines today. Now to Daniel and Kirk with After the Game. For Observer TV News, I'm Cavel Brown.
Hello and welcome to the Journal.
We are artists, writers, and storytellers. We are communicators, innovators, and collaborators. We are leaders, creators, and achievers. With one thing in common, a passion for storytelling. Bring life to learning at Centennial College.
Hello and welcome to After the Game. I'm Daniel McKenzie.
And I'm Kirk Budden. Today we go live to BMO Field where the MLS Cup is about to feature its first ever Canadian team. We'll check in on the Leafs and the Raptors as well. We preview the upcoming Toronto Rock season. First, some news from the baseball world.
The Major League Baseball winter meetings are well on their way in National Harbor, Maryland. While rumors continue to fly over the remaining free agent pool, the American League East just got even tougher. The Boston Red Sox added another Cy Young winner to their starting rotation on Tuesday, landing ace Chris Sale from the Chicago White Sox for a pile of prospects. Meanwhile, it looks like the Toronto Blue Jays and Edwin Encarnacion have all but finalized their split. The longtime Jay slugger reportedly declined a 4-year offer from the team worth $80 million when free agency opened, and he now looks to be running out of suitors. Toronto signed Kendrys Morales on November 18th to fill their designated hitter void, and on Monday, they added first baseman and outfielder Steve Pearce. GM Ross Atkins acknowledged that for a deal to get done with Encarnacion at this point, both sides are going to have to get pretty creative to make it happen. The Jays also reportedly met with Jose Bautista's representatives at length on Tuesday, so while one fan favorite looks to be gone, another might be on his way back.
This time last week, we were prepping Canadians to make history in MLS soccer. Just which fan base was going to get to see the glory. After Toronto FC's thriller OT win, they play host to the MLS Finals. Our John C. Morta is at BMO Field with an update for Saturday.
Thanks, guys. The Toronto FC defeated the Montreal Impact right here at BMO Field last week to earn a spot in the MLS Finals. On Saturday, December 10th, Toronto FC can make BMO Field a place to write one of their last chapters of what they hope to be a storybook ending to their season, winning the MLS Cup. This is the first time in over 2 decades that a Toronto sports team will compete for a national championship since the Blue Jays won the World Series in 1993. Although Sebastian Giovinco didn't finish the clinching game against Montreal last week, he looked fine in celebrations and is expected to play against the Seattle Sounders in the finals. BMO Field will certainly be flooded with a sea of red Saturday night. I'm John Morta, reporting for BMO Field, Toronto Observer News, Toronto. Back.
Thanks, John. Looks like BMO Field is getting some prep. Good to hear Giovinco will be back. Saturday's the big day. Could be an interesting weather situation as it's supposed to be a cold night and snow is in the forecast. That's December 10th at 8 p.m. Toronto FC versus the Seattle Sounders for the MLS Cup. Now on to our hockey update with Daniel.
The Toronto Maple Leafs look like they've found a starting goalie in Frederik Andersen. But behind him, it's a bit of a question mark. Backup Jonas Enroth struggled this season, going winless in 4 starts before being put on waivers Monday. Head coach Mike Babcock spoke to the media after the move.
We met with him today. Obviously, it wasn't going good enough. We're just in a situation where we're making a change.
The Leafs then signed 30-year-old journeyman Kari Ramo on Tuesday to a professional tryout with their AHL affiliate Toronto Marlies. Though GM Lou Lamoriello said the organization hasn't decided Ramo's future yet with the big club. Ramo spent time with Tampa Bay Lightning, then played several years in the KHL before returning to the NHL with the Calgary Flames. His time with the Flames came to an end when he tore his ACL in February. The Leafs have called up 22-year-old Antoine Bibeau from the Marlies to back up Andersen while the goaltending carousel works itself out. Bibeau has yet to play a game in the NHL. Toronto hosts the Minnesota Wild tonight at the Air Canada Centre.
With the National Lacrosse League draft done, the season is on the horizon. Austen Owens went to Toronto Rock training camp to check in on how their additions are faring.
With the new season right around the corner, the Toronto Rock have opened up training camp. In the middle of a small rebuild, the Rock went outside the box to bring in new talent for this season.
After losing 3 key forwards during the offseason, the Rock went out and retooled. They signed Connor Bushak, Kieran McArdle, and Tom Schreiber. All 3 players had played field lacrosse previously, but are taking their first crack at the box game. Jamie Dawick, Rock owner, president, and general manager, spoke about how these players will help the team.
Kieran and Tom being old guys, they're very different. Kieran seems to have a bit of a understanding here in the box game. It seemed like watching him do some stuff. Tom's very talented. Shoot the lights out of the ball.
Along with the 3 new American signings, 6 draft picks, and several rookie free agents are fighting for roster spots. Dawick spoke about the chances of them cracking the lineup.
Here they don't look out of place, and they're battling for jobs. And like we told them, we're gonna take the best guys. Doesn't matter age, what their salary is, where they're from, this and that. We're gonna take whoever we feel earns it.
The Rock play 3 preseason matchups in the month of December. They open up their preseason schedule here at the Toronto Rock Athletic Center on Saturday against the Georgia Swarm. For Observer TV News, I'm Austen Owens.
That was Austen Owens at the Toronto Rock training camp. He joins us here for a couple of questions. Thanks for joining us, Austen.
Absolutely.
The Rock had a lot of change over this offseason. What do you see in first impressions from camp?
First impressions I see, the defense looks very similar to what they had last season. They lost Brock Sorensen, one of their biggest defensemen, to an ACL injury. He'll be out for the season. The big change is on the offensive side. They lost 3 veterans, Colin Doyle, Josh Sanderson, 2 legends in the game, obviously one of their top scorers. They're both retired now. Rob Hellier, who was their top scorer last season, is out for the season as well with an ACL injury. So you're going to see the biggest turnaround on the offensive end.
Now, they had some high picks this year in the draft. How are the rookies doing? Do you think any of them are going to make it out of camp?
I think one of them, if not 2 of them, will make it out of camp. Honestly, with a 19 league, it's going to be really hard to make the roster if you're a late-round pick. Challen Rogers, I think, is a lock. He was the 2nd overall pick in this year's draft. They'll make room for him on the defensive end. Their 2nd-round pick was Latrell Harris. He's an 18-year-old defenseman, so well under the age of 21 that most guys come into the league. I'd see him probably starting on the practice roster, but barring some injuries, I think he'll find the Rock roster at some point this year.
Now, the Rock have a few players from the southern states and players headlining the offseason. What do you think they could add to the lineup?
They added Connor Bushak, Kieran McArdle, and Tom Schreiber. They're all MLL All-Stars, and what I think they bring to the roster is a lot of speed, a lot of athleticism, and a lot of size. The field game is a lot different from the box game, and from what I understood talking to the Rock players and coaches, work in progress was a term they used a lot. Obviously, going from a football field to a hockey rink is going to be a big change, and the lack of space is going to be something they're going to take a lot of time to get used to.
Absolutely. Yeah, field to box is a tough one to go.
Absolutely.
Now, Daniel has some updates on the Raptors.
Thanks, Kirk. After losing to the Cleveland Cavaliers yet again earlier this week, the Toronto Raptors have had a few days to regroup before they welcome the Minnesota Timberwolves and hometown boy Andrew Wiggins to town tomorrow night. The Thornhill, Ontario native put up good numbers against the Raptors in his young career, dropping 26 points in both games against Toronto last season. The Raptors then traveled to Boston for a meeting with the Celtics Friday night. All right, you ready for the best bets?
Let's do it. I'm going straight to the Thursday nighter. Big-time game, battle for the top of the AFC West between Kansas City and Oakland. Arrowhead Stadium is one of the toughest places to play. Oakland and Derek Carr have proven to be the comeback kids. 5 comeback wins in this season. Moneyline has the tie at 3.0. I'm liking it. Classic top of division situation. Oakland's backdoor winning fits perfectly for the bet. Over-under set at 46. Look for this one to go over. Both defenses have the ability to score, and Oakland's offense has been on fire lately. Spread's in at -3 for KC, the home team. Just like the money line, I'm taking the plus. Seeing this game could end tight or an Oakland win. And that's all I got. How about you?
Convince me on those ones, buddy. I like the Leafs tonight. They've had a few games to think about the overtime loss in Vancouver, and I think their speed is going to be tough for Minnesota to overcome tonight. And then we're going to California, calling a California sweep with the Anaheim Ducks weathering the Carolina Hurricanes and the San Jose Sharks taking a bite out of the Ottawa Senators.
Almost too many puns to count there.
I'm hungry, buddy.
I like it. Stick with those picks. Don't go betting your house on them. And that's our show for today. For everyone here at After the Game, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.